Hello, hi, welcome back to another fun episode of All About Yana. Today's episode is going to be another boss up video, so get you some tea, get you a little snack, and come on back. So today, you guys, we're gonna do a video on home loans. You guys said, all right, thanks sis for the vehicle finance video, but I'm gonna buy a house before I get a car. So say no more, I got you. Also, I've had a few people in my DM asking me this since I posted that I bought property last year. So it's been over a year now. I've been delaying with this video, so let me not waste any more time. Let's get to it. So as usual, you guys, this video is going to be beginner friendly. It is my first property, so I'll be taking you through everything that I learned. There's so many things that I just had absolutely no idea that I learned as I was going through the journey. It just was not the best time, to be honest. It was very difficult. I didn't have any kind of guidance really. I was just doing my own research and just learning as I go. So I will be sharing my experience with you today. Let's go. All right, so again, I have my phone. I wrote my notes in my phone yet again, so I will be, looking at it quite often. I want to make sure that I do not miss anything. So yeah. All right, so number one, what you want to do is decide the type of property you want to get, right? So I was basically deciding between a house, an apartment, or a townhouse. Those are the options that I was looking at. Let me take you through my thought process. So basically, I had just started my business and I was operating my entire business from my apartment. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I'll give you figures. I paid 3.2 for it. Yeah, 3.2. This apartment was the Jamali apartments in Marabula, right? So I lived there in a 1-bedroom apartment and I paid 3.2. And I was operating my business from this 1-bedroom apartment. It just got claustrophobic so quick because I would literally have boxes and boxes of my stock literally just everywhere. So then I decided, you know what, I just need a bigger space. I just really needed an extra bedroom that I wanted to use for storage, right? I wanted to just use that extra bedroom for storage and then also turn it into an office. That's literally all I needed. I just needed an extra bedroom. And then I was like, okay, let me move into a 2-bedroom apartment in the same complex, right? So the 2-bedroom apartments were 4.5. And I don't know, I randomly said to myself, what if instead I buy the apartment, right? And then I was like, my budget right now, I really need to keep it between like 4.5 to 5,000 range, no more than 5,000, because that's what I could afford at the time, right? So I was basically looking for apartments that I could get that I could pay between 4.5 and 5,000. That was literally all I was willing to pay for mortgage, right? Now, the problem is I tried getting a house didn't work. There's literally almost nothing. It would be like the 2.5, and even that you'd pay my almost 6,000. Like, it was just a lot. It was a lot. So I was like, you know what, let me scrap the house idea and just look for an apartment, right? I didn't even think townhouse. I was just thinking apartment. So I looked at the BHC houses. I think they're going for around 450,000, right? And I was just not feeling them. I viewed one and I was like, oh. no I was not feeling those apartments. I feel like I might get one. I want to buy one and rent it out, but it's just the math is not making sense to me. So anybody out there who's purchased those apartments, please reach me and just, how did you make the math make sense? For me, it just was not adding up, right? And I found another set of apartments. There's a complex that was a brand new complex actually that was being built in block 5. I think they were selling the apartments for about 550. So someone gave me advice and said, if you want to know how much mortgage, well, roughly, right, roughly how much mortgage you're gonna pay, this is what you do. If you are getting a property with 500,000, chances are you're paying 5,000. If you're getting a property with 600,000, you're paying 6,000. So think about it like that when you're looking. It's just a rough estimate, right? At the time, this is in 2018. Okay, this is end of 2018, right? So then I was like, okay, cool. So the apartments were 550,000, and I was like, okay, so I guess I'll be paying around 5.5. But remember, I just wanted to keep it between 4.5 and 5,000. So what I did is, after identifying what I wanted, so I identified I want an apartment. That's what I wanted, right? Then I started researching then mortgages and stuff. So remember, you can also choose to build, guys, but I specifically was just looking for an extra bedroom. Yeah, so then I started researching now banks. I went to Stanbic, I went to FNB. Funny enough, FNB was cheaper than Stanbic. So remember, I'm looking for quotations for, can you call it a quote? Lol. I was looking for 550, right? I wanted to know how much mortgage I would pay if I get a loan for 550. And 550 meaning 550,000, right? Yeah, and surprisingly, FNB was much cheaper than Stanbic, which I found very odd. Then so I was gonna go with FNB. I had already decided I'm going with FNB. I'm getting a mortgage for 550,000, and I'm gonna look at getting this apartment in block 5, right? Then a cousin of mine said to me, hey, have you tried BBS? And I was like, no. I didn't even, like, when I tell you I had zero information about BBS, like, I had heard of them, but I don't even know what they do. And also BBS stands for Botswana Building Society, right? And I was just like, building. Like, I just didn't think they helped with mortgage or anything, right? So I then was like, okay, let me go check them. Yeah. So I checked them, and you guys, I remember being shocked. Okay, so first of all, BBS, right? They allow you to take your mortgage for up to 30 years. Like, they allowed me to take mortgage 30 years, whereas at FNB, I don't remember if it was going to be 20 or 25 years. And Stanbic as well, and I found that very shocking. I was like, oh, you can let me take it for 30 years? Oh, yes, I'll let you know why 30 years doesn't scare me. I know someone just said 30 years. No, I'll explain. So I where was that in my story? I forgot, sorry. Yes, BBS, 30 years, right? And then I was like, okay, perfect, because then my monthly installments were gonna be, hear me when I say 3.7. They said 3.7. I said, where do I sign? I was so ready. I was like, yes. And then while I was like getting my papers together, I'm ready to go with this 3.7. I was ready. Then I saw these townhouses that were being sold. So 2 beds was 699 and 3 beds was 799. And then I was like, it's way above my budget, right? And then I just kind of crunched a bit of math, and I was like, okay, I could make it work if I pay a large deposit. So luckily I did have quite a decent amount of money in my savings at the time. Then I reached out to Louisville. So I have a townhouse that I got from Louisville, right? So I reached out to them, and I then did a bit of math, and the only thing they told me, you guys, is please note that those amounts are not VAT inclusive. See, I didn't know that, because they write it in fine print when you are looking at the advert, right? So I then it just added 12%. So VAT was 12% at the time, it's now 14. So yeah, I just added, I just said 699 times 1.12, right? And then I got my figure. So I was gonna get the 2-bedroom townhouse, and I was like, okay, no, I can make this work. So what I then did is I went back to the bank and I said to them, how much deposit must I pay you so that I can maintain this 3.7, right? And then he crunched numbers for me, and then he said to me, would you be willing to go up to maybe 4 point something so that you don't have to pay such a large deposit, right? And then I said to him, yeah, okay, I'm willing, max 4.5. That's the budget that I initially had, maximum 4.5. So then he told me, okay, then you'd need to pay this much deposit for you to reduce your mortgage to 4.5. And I was like, no problem. But here's the thing, I had a decent amount of money, but I didn't have enough money. So then I had to then go back to then save to make sure that I had the money that they wanted me to have, right? The deposit. So yeah, that's basically what happened. And then I began my process of purchasing this townhouse. I'm just checking here to make sure I'm not missing anything. So initially I wanted this 2-bedroom townhouse, right? Then I did a bit of math, and then I realized that it wouldn't be much of a difference if I got a 3-bed. And I also was talking to my cousin, who then advised me, she just let me know, I think it would be a little more attractive to sell a 3-bedroom townhouse than a 2-bedroom townhouse. So if you can, like, even if you have to kind of like squeeze a bit, I recommend that you get the 3-bed. So then I thought about it a little bit. Then I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and go back to the bank so we can crunch numbers now for a 3-bedroom townhouse, which is then the one I settled for, which was 799. I'm gonna get my calculator so I show you. So now I want us to digress a little bit, and I want us to talk about hidden costs that they don't tell us. So the first hidden cost was the VAT, right? So they advertised 799. I'm gonna add 12% to it now, so times 1.12. The purchase price is actually 894,880. So what you see advertised, you guys, is not always what you're gonna end up paying. That's the lesson I'm trying to teach you here. Make sure you ask. So the first thing I literally walked into the Louisville office and I said to them, I want to know all the hidden costs. Like, don't play with me. Tell me straight up, you're gonna need to pay 1, 2, 3, don't hide anything from me, please, because I am on a tight budget and I don't want a situation where things are popping out of nowhere. Just tell me now. Mind you, I've already spoken to the bank, Ghana. So the first hidden cost was the VAT. So you add 12%, and the purchase price now is 894,880. Then after that, they say to me, your yard is bigger than the other yards, so you have to pay for the extra space. Okay then, no problem, because I really wanted the nice big yard. Compared to the other townhouses, it looked a little more attractive. So I said, no problem, show me the extra space. So they showed me, I thought, okay, no, from here to here, okay, it was an extra 11, I think it was an extra 11 square meters more than the other people, and they charged me 1,400 per square meter. I think it was 11 point something, because I remember I paid, it was an extra 16,000. Yeah, so I think it was 11 point something, maybe 11.5, something like that, I forgot. And then when you multiply it by 1.4, you should get around 16,000. That was an additional cost that was like, whoop. And I'm like, okay then. So now I'm adding on to the figure that we had, right? So purchase price now is going up. It's gone from 799 to 894,880. Now I'm adding the 16K. We're at 910 right now. Remember, 799 was advertised. We're at 910 now. Then from there, they say the house doesn't come with water and electricity. So what do? I go to power and I go to water and I get quotations. Cool. That was an extra, I think it was 12,000 to connect electricity, and it was 2.6 to connect water. So what's that? It's an extra 15K. Okay, we're at 925 now. Then there is the little cost that I also didn't know about. For example, the bank will need a valuation. Valuation was, I believe, 4,000. They would also need a structural report. It was 4.8. You have to pay these things cash, so that's an extra 10K that I'm adding here. Then just when I thought it was over, Then I find out that my house also doesn't come with a stove. This one just defeated me. I was like, huh? They're like, we'll make the little space for you to put your own stove, okay? Wow. Anyway, then I literally, at that time, I had run out of money, so I just got like a basic stove, and I told myself when I have some money, I'll just, you know, switch it out for a better one. Yeah, so I think those are I'm trying to remember if there was anything else. There's also legal fees associated with buying a house. The legal fees, for how much were my legal fees? I don't remember. And then also you will need a life policy. I didn't have one. I remember I was like, no, don't worry, I'll get one, and they were like, nope, it's supposed, you are supposed to have had it for over a year for it to work. So I didn't have one. What they did is then they did one on my behalf, but luckily the bank was able to absorb those costs. I don't remember, I think it was around 30 something thousand for the life cover, and then it was maybe around 15k for the legal fees, because there's a transfer cost, and then there's another cost for a bond, for registering the bond. Hell, quite a lot. So I think my total cost was around 48,000. They did give me the option of paying those cash, and I just didn't have the money by then. I just genuinely, I was like, I can't do it. Then the bank was able to absorb that 48,000, and then that then increased my loan amount, obviously. There you have it, whole a lot. Now, last minute advice, that was just my experience, and also chances are you won't be buying the same the same townhouse that I got. I have a lot of people asking me, hey, how much was your townhouse? Hey, da 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 da. And it's just like, I'm always a little reluctant to give my figures because one, the apartments no longer cost $799. That was when I got it. So I started looking in 2018, you guys, but I finalized the purchase end of 2019. November 2019 is when I finally finalized everything. So I really took my time, and I really did look around, and I chose the option that I felt was best for me, right? So I encourage you to do the same. Take your time, don't rush it. Look around, shop around, check here, check there. You can even check an option to buy. Personally, I just feel like I'm not yet there. I just feel like I'll be ready to build when I want to build my dream home. For now, I just wanted to get an investment property. 1, 2, I just needed an extra bedroom. That's really how this all started. So shop around for as long as you can. Take your time. Take your time, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, go to every single bank, talk to whoever you need to talk to, get quotations or whatever it is that they're called. Find out, you can ask them, how much do I need to pay you, because I want to pay this much as my mortgage. You know, you don't have to let them tell you, oh, your mortgage will be, you know, 10,000 because your house is worth $1 million, for example. You can just tell them, do you know what, I want to cap it at 6,000, so how much deposit must I give you so that I can cap it at 6,000? Every time I tell people my mortgage is 4.5, they legit look at me like, is that even a mortgage or is that rent? But that's what I did. That's what I felt was smart for me. I had to cap it at that. And the reason why I'm giving you guys my figures, why am I telling you guys my dirty laundry right now? Like, anyway, I'm just trying to encourage people to basically just do the right thing for you. Just because your friend is paying 8,000 for mortgage doesn't mean you should pay the same. We don't get paid the same, right? So literally, I pay 4.5 for mortgage. My goal was to match the 2-bedroom apartment I would have been paying had I not bought the house. So that's just what I decided. And also, you guys, for those who don't know, sometimes it is cheaper to rent than to buy a house, but I'll put that in a separate video so that I don't make this video too long. If you want to know information on that, let me know. But yeah, you have to make it make sense. So initially it was more expensive for me to buy a house than it was to rent. So then I made my mortgage equal the amount of rent I was going to be paying so that it makes sense for me. Back to that 30 years and why it doesn't scare me. So the method that I decided on, so like I'm saying, you can decide to build. There's people that will buy a plot with a personal loan and then build on it cash. people are like, oh, I can finish within 10 years, you know, I'll be done with my house. Whatever the case is, it's up to you. I recommend you never go through full term. Same with the vehicle loan. I never will go through full term with a loan ever in my life. So this is why 30 years doesn't scare me. So what I decided to do is stretch out my loan as far as I can possibly stretch it, but my goal is to pay it within the next 5 to 10 years. That's my goal. So what you do is you reduce the amount that you pay, right, as low as you can possibly go. What that does is it then frees up your salary for investments, right? You can save, you can invest, you can whatever you need to do to get extra income. And then that extra income is then what will help you clear your loan in a shorter period of time. So I'm telling you right now, I even told God when I got my loan, I said, listen, and I'll tell you as well, I'll pull out my pinky finger and I'm telling you right now, let's bet in the next 5 to 10 years, this 30-year loan will be clear. Don't tell my bank though. Don't tell my bank. Don't tell my bank. But yeah, I need to actually do a bit of research to find out if there are any penalties in reducing your loan term. There probably are, because like I'm saying, the bank wants to keep you, you know, paying for as long as they can keep you. Honestly, most of the time the penalty is not as much as the full term of the loan. So I'm not going full term with it for sure. So that's why 30 years doesn't scare me. It makes sense to me. I'm not too sure if it'll make sense to other people. And like I'm saying, always make sure you're doing what works best for you. Do your research. I'm just sharing my experience with you, so you can then derive whatever you can derive from it and then make it work for you. Please watch out for hidden costs. That's what really ended me. That's what really, it was just like, what do you actually mean? But I'm very happy with my investments. So the overall the property cost has now increased in my neighborhood. They are now selling them for 800 and something, from 799 to 800 and something pre-vet. What this means is that the property has basically increased in value by 100,000. So before I even moved into the apartment, it had, I keep calling it an apartment. Before I moved into the townhouse, it had increased in value by 100,000. So I didn't make a bad investment at all. So even though the whole process was very stressful, I am, you know, overall I am happy with my investments. So my total was 950. My total was 950 and I am paying 4.5 as mortgage. Remember, I'm only paying such a low amount because of the deposit that I paid. Ideally you would be paying around 9 point something for, you know, for a house or a townhouse with 950 like mine, but it is now worth 1 point something million, because like I'm saying, the value has gone up by 100,000 because of literally the same apartment is now being sold for higher. So if I want to sell it, obviously I would sell it at the same amount that they are selling it for. But remember, mine would come with a stove, mine will come with water, electricity, with all the hidden costs already paid. Mine will come with paving, the garden that I've been working on. So obviously it will be a lot more attractive than the ones that they're selling without a stove, without water, for the same amount. Do you get what I mean? So I could actually even increase it a little bit, because you know, putting in a garden also increases the value, paving, that increases the value. All these things that you put all increase the value. So if I sold my house right now, I will clear my loan, get back my deposit, and be a rich gal. So one thing that I like about my apartment is that the rental is 6.5, I'm told, for 3 beds, but my mortgage is only 4.5. like I was saying. That means I'm actually losing money by living in my townhouse. It would be better for me to actually move out and, you know, get that extra, is it 2k or something, and bank that, or put it away, or put it in an investment account to, you know, work towards paying my mortgage. So yeah, my favorite thing about it is, God forbid I lose my job, God forbid anything happens to me, if I move out of this house and rent it out, I'm banking more money than me living in it. So it's literally like, it is perfect. It's perfect. Let me just check my phone to make sure I didn't miss anything, but I believe that is it, you guys. yeah, that's it. That's all I had for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I just want to remind you once again to be careful when dealing with the bank, and I also want to encourage you to do what works for you. Just because it worked for me is not necessarily gonna work for you. Look at your own pockets, look at your own affordability, and do what works for you. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video.